Have you ever wondered if the advice about blood pressure was really correct? Being able to make an informed choice about your health is hard when studies don't agree with each other. This video is mostly about people over 65 years old, and we'll talk about the newest and best ways to check your heart rate and blood pressure. Your risk of getting serious health problems like heart disease and stroke can go down if you learn how to control your blood pressure properly. In this case, having correct information is very important. Read this article to get good health advice and to find out the truth about some rules that people often get wrong. Make sure you read this article all the way through to the end so you don't get confused by old or wrong information, and so you can learn important facts that could have a big effect on your health. Before we begin, I'd love for you to stay until the end of this video. There's a gentle, encouraging tip waiting there that could help you feel a bit lighter, a bit more energized. If you enjoy this kind of content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell so you're always part of our growing circle. And if you're watching, say hi by writing, "I'm still becoming." Just a few words can carry a world of meaning. Now let's begin. Today we will talk about important things like what a normal heart rate and blood pressure are for people over 65. There is a lot of false information going around about this subject in many online communities and the media. Statements like, "There's big news about blood pressure," may have caught your attention. According to the US, a person aged 65 and up should have blood pressure that is 150 over 90. It's normal to be older than 70 or even 160 years old. Some people say that blood pressure naturally goes up with age, and that levels like 150 to 160 are fine, and don't need to be strictly controlled. Still, Dr. Hong Wang, a well-known cardiovascular specialist at Starlight Hospital, stresses how important it is to keep your blood pressure under control to avoid major health problems like stroke, heart disease, dementia, aortic dissection, kidney disease, and others. While hypertension is more common in older people, it shouldn't be accepted in their golden years. Letting your blood pressure rise naturally as you age is different from high blood pressure. For example, it's not a good idea to do nothing as brittleness gets worse, just like bones may become more brittle as we age. One strong link between high blood pressure and a higher risk of stroke is that Asians are more likely to have one. Because of this, Asians might not follow the same blood pressure rules as Westerners. Heart disease, which is the main concern, is more strongly linked to high blood pressure than to the risk of stroke. Instead of accepting that higher blood pressure comes with getting older, the best way to figure out what blood pressure levels are healthy is to focus on lowering the risk of stroke. 3 large studies found a huge difference when they looked at the ratio of strokes to myocardial infarctions in East Asian populations. Among East Asians, strokes happen 4 to 8 times more often than myocardial infarctions. But when similar Caucasian groups in the US and Europe were looked at, a different pattern emerged. Strokes happen 0.8 to 1.7 times more often in Black people than myocardial infarctions. This means that the ratio of strokes to myocardial infarctions is much lower among Caucasians than among East Asians. The scholar Shang Dong, who died in 2009, also provided evidence to support these conclusions. This conclusion is supported by a study by Shang Dong that was published in a well-known journal of cardiology and compares the death rates from stroke and myocardial infarction in 24 different countries. His research shows that the rate of strokes among East Asians is much higher than the rate of myocardial infarctions among people of European and American descent. Please leave the first comment below to let me know that you're still watching this video with me and that you think these lessons are helpful. Keeping blood pressure at a healthy level is very important for adults. Most people think that blood pressure less than 140 over 90 millimeters of mercury, mmHg, is ideal. People aged 65 and up, on the other hand, may not have to follow this rule as strictly. With this age group, Blood pressure levels below 150 over 90 millimeters of mercury are also thought to be fine. The normal range for heart rate is between 60 and 100 beats per minute. However, some job groups may have heart rates outside this range due to work demands. Differences within this range usually aren't a big deal as long as the person is healthy and doesn't have any bad symptoms. It is particularly crucial for diabetics over 65 to closely monitor their blood pressure and heart rate. If there isn't a big difference in heart rate before and after exercise, it could mean that there are problems, like blockages in the coronary arteries, heart, or brain blood vessels, which can cause plaque to form. People with these conditions need to be checked out right away to avoid serious problems, like an acute myocardial infarction or stroke. Additionally, if someone's heart rate is found to be too fast or too slow, it is very important to do full checks for underlying diseases, preferably with the help of a doctor. A slow heart rate is pretty common in older people and can be caused by things like sinus bradycardia or hypokalemia. An electrocardiogram should be taken as soon as possible to diagnose and deal with these problems, ensuring the right treatment and management. High blood pressure, also called hypertension, makes the chance of having a stroke much higher. There is a lot of evidence that shows that high blood pressure is a major cause of strokes. In simple terms, a stroke is less likely to happen when blood pressure is low. You should also avoid low blood pressure due to health risks. Therefore, the ideal target for Taiwanese people is different from that for other groups because the recommended blood pressure values can change based on things like nationality and age. Late in August 2021, Dr. Wang Zongyao from the National Taiwan University Hospital worked with Chinese researchers on a critical project. The goal of this study was to find out how to best treat high blood pressure in Chinese people aged 60 to 80. Because the study was focused on Asians, its results are thought to be more useful for Asians than those from similar studies that looked at Western populations. The study mostly looked at three main topics: how Chinese and Western people handle their blood pressure differently, what the best blood pressure range is for people between the ages of 60 and 80, and why it's important to check blood pressure at home instead of in a clinic. The study also looked at dietary factors that might help control high blood pressure, such as the differences in effects between drinking green tea and coffee. What they wanted to find out was which drink might help lower blood pressure without hurting the body. This study helps us learn more about how different groups of people need different approaches to control their blood pressure. It also helps us understand how the choices we make in our daily lives can affect our heart health. Those with normal high blood pressure or mild hypertension may benefit from drinking green tea every day, according to a recent Japanese study. Not only is it safe to drink a certain number of cups of green tea every day, but it also offers a lot of health benefits, like lowering blood pressure and body fat. Coffee lovers, on the other hand, should be careful. Researchers have found that people with severe high blood pressure may experience a sudden rise in blood pressure after drinking coffee. Such an event can greatly raise their risk of heart disease and death. Zhang Xinggu, a nutritionist, talked about a prospective observational study that was published in the American Heart Association Journal in 2022 by a Japanese research team. Blood pressure readings from 18,600 people in this study were put into 6 groups based on their blood pressure levels. Ideal blood pressure below 120 over 80 millimeters of mercury. Normal blood pressure below 130 over 85 millimeters of mercury. Normal high blood pressure 130 to 139 over 85 to 89 millimeters of mercury. Stage 1, hypertension 140 to 159 over 90 to 99 millimeters of mercury. Stage 2, hypertension 160 to 179 over 100 to 109 millimeters of mercury. And Stage 3, severe hypertension 180 over 110 millimeters of mercury or higher. According to the results, drinking coffee doesn't pose any major risks for people whose blood pressure is normal or slightly high. For people with stage 2 or stage 3 severe hypertension, drinking more than 2 cups of coffee a day can cause their blood pressure to rise quickly, which could double their risk of dying from heart disease. Green tea, on the other hand, is safe to drink even for people with high blood pressure. According to the study, drinking 1 to 2 cups of green tea every day is good for people with ideal or normal blood pressure. Drinking 5 to 6 cups of green tea every day is even better for people with normal high blood pressure or mild hypertension. Green tea, which is full of good polyphenols like catechin and epigallocatechin gallate, EGCG, has been praised by Zhang Xingu for its many health benefits. These chemicals are famous for their strong ability to reduce inflammation and protect cells from damage. They are good at fighting inflammation and oxidative stress, helping you lose fat, and lowering your blood pressure. According to the study, people who drink more green tea also tend to have lower total cholesterol levels, which is more evidence that it is good for your heart. However, drinking coffee has been linked to bad health outcomes, especially in people with severe high blood pressure. Heart disease deaths are twice as likely to happen to people who drink more than 2 cups of coffee a day. Some of the good things in coffee are caffeine, chlorogenic acid, magnesium, and esters. These can help lower blood cholesterol, reduce inflammation, and improve the function of endothelial cells. But for people with severe high blood pressure, the bad effects may outweigh the good ones. So, people who are trying to control their high blood pressure should drink green tea instead of coffee as part of a complete plan to do so. In addition to making changes to your diet, a peaceful and balanced lifestyle is also important for controlling your blood pressure. People need to be aware of the link between their mood and their overall health. Getting angry or irritable all the time can hurt your health and blood pressure. Having a calm and positive attitude is important for keeping your body healthy and your blood pressure at a healthy level. Trying to find emotional balance and a good mood every day can make a big difference in your health and blood pressure management. Please let me know in the first comment below that you are still watching this video with me and that you think these lessons are helpful. Quitting smoking and drinking alcohol should be a top priority for people over 65 who want to control their blood pressure and keep their minds healthy. For a long time, smoking and drinking can be bad for your health, especially for your liver, lungs, and other important organs. Also, these habits can make blood vessels that are already damaged worse, which can cause high blood pressure and irregular heartbeats. These kinds of conditions can make you much more likely to get heart disease and hurt your overall health. So, giving up these bad habits as soon as possible is highly recommended to improve health and keep blood pressure stable. Keeping up a healthy diet is also very important. People often say, illness comes from the mouth, which shows how important diet is for overall health. It's even more important for middle-aged and older people to watch what they eat as their bodies naturally age and lose function. To keep your blood pressure and heart rate stable, you need a well-balanced diet. Stick to a light diet that includes foods that are easy to digest and are high in protein and vitamins. This method makes it easier on the body, while still making sure it gets all the nutrients it needs to stay healthy. A healthy diet is good for your overall health and can help you control your blood pressure. Another important thing you can do to stay healthy as you age is to do regular exercise. Being active should always be a part of your life. Aerobic exercise for at least 35 minutes every day can raise the basal metabolic rate and improve blood flow by a large amount. When exercising, it's important for older people to choose exercises that are good for their bones and bodies. Running, walking, tai chi, swimming, yoga, cycling, and square dancing are all good things to do. Not only does regular exercise help your heart health, but it also makes you feel better and gives you more energy. By doing these things every day, older people can better control their blood pressure and improve their lives in general. Drink a lot of water. People over 65 may have problems with going to the bathroom more often, especially at night, because their bladders don't hold as much fluid. Because of this condition, older people often limit how much water they drink to avoid having to go to the bathroom a lot at night. But this practice can lead to things that were not meant to happen. When people drink a lot less water, their blood can become thicker and flow more slowly, especially at night. These changes in the way blood flows and behaves can make you more likely to have serious health problems like heart attacks and strokes. To lower these risks, older people need to make sure they drink enough water throughout the day. This means that you should drink enough water while you're awake to keep your body properly hydrated. But it's also important to watch how much water you drink in the hours before bed. Smart water consumption, making sure they stay hydrated during the day, and not drinking too much right before bed, can help older people lower their risk of having problems with urination at night without hurting their overall health. There are a few important things you need to remember when measuring blood pressure to get accurate results. Before you take your blood pressure reading, you should first avoid doing any kind of exercise. For a short time, exercise can raise blood pressure, which could change the results. Also, make sure you don't do anything physical right before you check your blood pressure, because even light activity can change the results. Take a few minutes to rest before taking your blood pressure. This is another very important step. Because of temporary changes in your blood pressure caused by recent activity, the readings may not be accurate if you don't get enough rest. It's also important to think about the things you did to prepare for the measurement. Smoking and consuming caffeinated drinks like coffee, as well as staying up late the night before, can affect your blood pressure readings. These things can make blood pressure go up and down, making it look like there are sudden changes when, in reality, they are just the result of these things. By taking these steps, you can get more accurate and consistent readings of your blood pressure, which will keep it from looking like it changes quickly. Please leave the first comment below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me, and that you think these lessons are helpful. Remember to pay close attention to when you take your blood pressure. Checking your blood pressure whenever you feel uncomfortable or worried is fine. But for more accurate monitoring, do it daily at the same times. There should be no problems or changes in your blood pressure readings. It is best to check your blood pressure more than once, in the morning and at night. It's also a good idea to check your blood pressure on both arms to be sure it's correct and consistent. This helps you find any possible problems and gives you a better idea of how your blood pressure is changing over time. If you follow these tips, you can get more accurate information and better control your blood pressure. It is very important to use the right technique and accurate tools when taking blood pressure readings so that they are always correct. First, make sure you're in the right position to take your blood pressure. For this, you need to sit in a chair so that your back is supported and your feet are flat on the floor. To get accurate readings, keep your arm relaxed and at heart level. The palm of your hand should be facing up, making sure it's neither too tight nor too loose. The blood pressure cuff should be snugly wrapped around the upper arm, about an inch above the elbow. It is best to take measurements in a place that is quiet and free of noise and other things that could affect how accurate the readings are. For accurate tracking, it is also important to always use the same blood pressure measuring equipment. There may be differences in how accurately different blood pressure monitors measure, which can cause your readings to be off. To keep this from happening, it is best to use the same blood pressure monitor each time. Using this consistent equipment to check your blood pressure on a regular basis will help you keep track of any changes over time. Following these suggestions for checking and measuring your blood pressure will help you stay in better cardiovascular health. It is important to pay close attention to both your blood pressure and heart rate, and doing these things regularly will help you stay healthy and happy overall. Thanks for seeing. We hope you've learned something useful about the right amount of blood pressure and heart rate for people over 65. Staying informed is important if you want to take care of your health and avoid serious conditions. What did the video today teach you? If you felt even a bit inspired, we warmly welcome you to subscribe and tap the bell so you won't miss what's coming next. Your presence matters. Here's something magical. Share your age in the comments. By doing so, you're telling the universe, I'm here, I'm growing, and I'm ready for more life. It's a small act with powerful energy. Take care, stay hopeful, and remember, your journey still has so much to offer.